Sampa's Best Sauna, written by Viejo Maki, translated by Jorma Halonen. Sampa's Best Sauna. Blue smoke floats over a remote northwestern Ontario pond. 2 migrating geese have settled on it for the night. Samppa is seated on the steps of his sauna cabin, taking a moment in the midst of the puttering it takes to heat it. Once again, he sought to escape here, deep into the backwoods. Only his very own sauna, contemplates Samppa, tens of kilometers from today's hustle and bustle, makes life worth living. Much has Samppa seen during his long and eventful life, which has afforded him occasions to build an assortment of saunas. The Electric City saunas, with their partitioned shower rooms and sparkling clean walls, Samppa characterizes as mere warming and washing facilities. The foundation of his ideal is the smoke sauna back at his birthplace in Finland. Nearly a century ago, its earthen floor, the huge stone kiosks, and the ground gnomes dwelling beneath the benches had given witness to his birth. This current sauna location had charmed Samppa some years earlier during his hunting travels. Here, a tongue of south-facing Precambrian shield descends into a brilliant water of the pond. In the distance, forests of coniferous and deciduous trees loom in layers as if on the canvas of a landscape artist. Initially, with the aids of friends, Samppa hauled a hunt sauna built on top of a trailer to this site. By now, however, the game has moved elsewhere. Some of his comrades have also moved on, most beyond the clouds, to enjoy a sweeter steam. Samppa built this sauna decades ago. It has been hewed out of peeled poplar logs. The walls have been caulked with moss, but the floor has been left with cracks to allow air to circulate. A few inches of fiberglass above the ceiling was a modern concession. The window does not open, but near the ceiling, across from the kiosk, is an exhaust rapana. The kiosk is a continuous heating, homemade masterpiece of stainless steel. By channeling the fire, its series of ducts allow for an even and long-lasting steam even during the most frigid winter night. The fire is fed from the anteroom to prevent wasting of the precious oxygen inside the sauna by burning. An assortment of rocks have been selected for the kiosk. The hardest of them offer such an intense rush of steam, while the softest spread a relaxing, even steam. The benches easily fit 4 robust men. The distance from the top bench to the ceiling is precisely measured. When Samppa lays on his back with a birch log for his pillow, his toes provide a nice brace against the ceiling to offer his heels for that special tenderizing steam. The height of the sauna room is sufficient to allow a bather who is standing on the floor to avoid the topmost layer of heat and to prevent ladle from banging the ceiling when it is raised to flush the head with water. When Samppa's family was still young, his sauna was a bustling place. All members of the family usually bathed together. When guests were entertained, men went first. Women followed later, for they did not care for intense heat. Taking of steam was interspersed with frequent swims. The children were particularly fond of the diving board Samppa had built, which was a good 3 meters above the surface of the water. On a couple of occasions, excursions were even undertaken for Christmas Eve saunas. Those ventures provoked Samppa to cut a swimming hole in the ice. Yet no one but Samppa ventured in. Surely he should demonstrate how he had done so as a young boy in Finland. As firewood, Samppa primarily used poplar. At most, 1/4 of the wood can be birch or pine. If they comprise too much a proportion, the smoke ducts in the kiosk soot up unnecessarily. When sauna bathing, Samppa nearly always uses bastas. Without exception, they are made of birch. Samppa makes tens of dozens of them immediately after summer solstice. He will then hang them in the sauna attic to dry, having sprinkled coarse salt upon them for preservative. Before bathing, he softens them by alternately dunking them in a basin of hot water and holding them over the kiosk rocks. The water, thus spiked, he uses to throw on the rocks, producing a mighty aroma for his bath. Although washing after sweating is an important part of Sampa's sauna bathing, he avoids getting overly eager. In his opinion, skin wears down from excessive rubbing, allowing all kinds of bacteria to enter the body. Also, soap should not have a scent of any kind. Perfumes aside, humans should smell like humans, contemplates Samppa. Samppa says that sauna behavior must be proper. When traveling in times past, Samppa had observed some tongued ones without appreciation for proper sauna decorum, reading newspapers, listening to radio, even smoking in a sauna. This was absolutely incomprehensible in his opinion. Some who knew Samppa in his earlier years did mention his own occasional inappropriate behavior. Apparently, he had bathed while drunk, even used beer for throwing lolu. However, no one has truly verified this story. Samppa himself avoids discussing these allegations. They say Samppa had been a tough man of lolu. Once, in a group of men, he was challenged to a test of endurance. The heat rose to 145 degrees Celsius. There, 6 contestants sat with their butts clinging tightly to the top bench. The judge of steam, crouched on the floor, slowly sprinkles water on the hissing rocks. One after another, those more timid held onto their ears as they slipped out the door cracked open for their exit. In the end, even the steam judge left. Only Samppa remained as the undisputed winner. While fellow contestants cooled off outside, they listened with horror to the bang of exploding kiowa stones and the smacking of the birch vasta on Sampa's reddened skin. At least, this is what the outsiders imagined. Once, there had been vandals at Samppa's sauna. Even though nothing was stolen, a few things had been broken. This was sacrilege, in his opinion. That night, Samppa heated his sauna hotter than usual. When throwing water on the kiowas, he envisioned the culprit sitting beside him. "Promise not to make a mess with other people's property, or I shall crank up the steam," he told the buggards in his mind. The excellent steam gradually softened Sampa's mood toward a more philosophical disposition. How easy it would be to resolve societal disputes in the sauna. Consider for a moment a scenario where Marti Ahtisaari is sitting on a sauna bench in the company of the disputing parties in Kosovo, throwing in extra steam as needed. Surely they would quickly offer up their weapons to be smelted for manufacture of sauna kiowases. In Sampa's opinion, sauna has a notable impact on mental health. He also believes sauna to aid in dealing with many physical ailments. Aches and pains ease when steeped in the mead of lolu, especially if the worst areas are kneaded with few lashes from the birch vasta. A couple of drops of tar in the ladle of lolu water relieves cough and hoarseness. A strong steam combined with a quick dip in frigid winter water is an immediate cure for rheumatism. The sauna for Samppa is also his church, or shrine in as far as he comprehends such matters. The rush of angry, bitter steam is a warning from hell, while the gentle, slowly emerging after steam forecasts the charming beauty of heaven. After a relaxing sauna, Samppa feels how the sky and earth combine in a cosmic unity. It is morning. The smoke over the pond has transformed into mist. The fiery heat of the sauna has cooled, as if to a breath of a summer wind. Samppa is asleep on the top bench of his best ever sauna. 3 geese take flight from the pond, over an isthmus colored by the rising sun, destined beyond the far edge of the horizon.